You're tuned to Kootenai Co-op Radio, CJLY 93.5 in Nelson, BC. I'm Steve Corey. This is the fifth of 5 interviews with the candidates in the riding of Nelson-Creston for the provincial election of May 9th, 2017. Each one will be about 30 minutes. There's no specified order. They were scheduled as they became available, and the format and questions will be the same for each one. My final guest is Jesse O'Leary, independent candidate. Jesse, welcome to Kootenai Co-op Radio.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's good to see a young man. You're definitely the youngest of the 5. So why do you think you're the best candidate for this riding?
Well, I feel that the Nelson-Creston riding is pretty progressive when it comes to moving forward into looking at ways of doing things differently than we have been. So moving towards green technology and sustainability and different kinds of approaches. And I feel that the reason why I'm the best for this is because, here the NDP and the Green grab most of the votes, usually, because of their platform when it comes to sustainability. And a vote for me is essentially a vote for the Green or the NDP, because as an independent living or moving to Victoria to go to these, the Legislative Assembly, the meetings over there, I'll be able to work across party lines, and I'll be working with the Green and the NDP when it comes to helping them push sensible policies that make the best sense for our communities here in Nelson-Creston. But on top of that, which adds the cherry to the
Sunday.
cake, the Sunday or whatever it is that I want to be doing things differently and connecting with the non-voting demographic and empowering the disenfranchised people, basically re-enfranchising them. And the way that I'll be doing this, I'm sure a lot of people have already read in the newspaper, is investing a large portion of my salary directly into community-based projects, organizations, and other kinds of startups that can really help us tackle the issues we're facing on a grassroots level, so that we can deal with these issues quickly, efficiently, and more directly than just shifting money around in Victoria, because we all know how slow that the solutions come from Victoria. So, $50,000 is about what that would be every year, because MLA salary is around $100,000. So a lot of people don't think that's very much money to be investing in starting things. But with the way that I see it and the way that I live, which is pretty minimalistically, and the type of brain that's in my head, I feel that these projects and organizations wouldn't need very much funding to get off the ground, and then could make a huge impact with solving our issues. So.
Ah, very good. So you think rather than a party, you're an independent. The independent movement because of that independence, you're not beholden to any one of the political parties, and you can bring new ideas and bring things to fruition?
Well, yeah, bringing new ideas is one thing, but also being able to work and to vote in the direction that makes the most sense for not only Nelson-Creston but for BC and for our species in general, because a lot of parties, except for the Green Party, are restricted in the sense of they're almost intimidated or forced into voting a certain way.
Strategic voting.
Well, not even just in the Legislative Assembly, when they're voting on certain bills, they're almost required to vote along their party lines, as opposed
to So independents bring a new dimension.
Well, yeah, they have a lot of power when it comes to making final decisions whether something's going to pass or not, because especially the more balanced the Legislative Assembly is, because being an independent, I can decide whether to help out the Green Party or the NDP or potentially even the Liberals if they're talking about something that makes sense for us. So yeah, that's where I feel a big impact could be had in there. It's just the flexibility of...
Flexibility is a big one. Versatility. Yeah. Thank you. That's good. What's your position on Site C?
That is going to be a huge disaster if it's pushed through. And I would really like us to be investing, I think there's $7 billion left to be invested to build that project, and that's a lot of money. And if we were to invest that into sustainable technology and, other kinds of infrastructure that could really help develop our communities and, opening up new schools, and because I don't think we would even need $7 billion to make a huge leap forward in technologies that are, far beyond just solar and wind. There's all sorts of other technologies. You can check them out on my site. If you go to my site, thinkindependently.blog, and go to the moving forward, there's a list of new technologies and things that a lot of people are probably not aware of. And, I feel like that's where we should be investing.
And not
that
in
kind
this
of money.
huge, massive...
Well, no, because the economics behind it doesn't make any sense. There's been studies over and over again by many very intelligent people that are saying this is not making any sense. This is going to be a huge drain on our province.
Well, they did a few studies, actually,
So, yeah, it's it doesn't make sense for us, especially moving into a world where food security is going to be a major issue coming up here due to just the shifting climate and things like that, and to destroy all this farmland, to step on First Nations and disrespect them more than we've already been doing, to bully people off their land, to do all of these things to make this project happen, to destroy so much beautiful natural environment. To build this massive dam that's going to disrupt the whole natural cycle. This is insanity, and it doesn't make any sense to me. And I actually have a page on my website about it that has links to articles and research that people have done and videos about some of the people that are in it. So I would suggest people check that out as well.
Do you have any specific ideas for providing jobs for this riding?
Many.
Okay, you have. I'll give you 2 minutes. I'm just looking. No, I'll give you a minute. Carrie, please. I'm listening.
So, housing affordability, housing in general is a massive thing that we're having major issues with around here. So, helping to empower and to build up alternative housing projects. So, I was informed about this. Organization that's working on building container ship houses. I don't have the name of it right now, but a lady brought it to my attention the other day after.
Using containers.
Yeah, container ship houses. And then there's another organization here building tiny homes.
Yeah.
So working with those people and helping to build off of their experience already, and building a larger a base for tiny houses and container ship houses and things like that, and working with sustaining or obtaining land for these projects so that we can be having land for these tiny houses and other things to be put on. So that's one idea. Another thing is with our forestry industry right now, we're, as Tom is really adamant about, is, we need to stop the raw log exports. And when it comes to building value-added products, I'm right along that. Like I ran in the 2013 federal election, and I kind of see a lot of similarities between the way I presented myself back then and the way Tom's presenting himself now. I feel a lot more grounded nowadays when it comes to things, but when it comes to sustainability, value-added products, there's a huge amount of things that we could be doing, and an idea that, I don't know if it's on my website yet, but combining education into our economy, I call it edunomic system, and where we could be opening up educational furniture factories, educational clothing design places, educational tech places. The way that would work is creating more education for people, that free education, so like alternatives to potentially like going to college or going to university and spending tens or hundreds, or not hundreds, but usually tens of thousands of dollars through, grabbing education and becoming better skilled and becoming just a more developed person. But usually it's an odd thing we have today, because we're making people pay for all of this stuff. But the thing is once you become better educated, you're a bigger asset for the people around you. You're a bigger asset to the world around you. You're improving the world.
You've just put your finger on education, and you've described something very interesting, because that's the first time I've heard it explained that way. Of course, we have our apprenticeship program, but the first time I've heard using value-added methods, if you want,
Yeah, the thing is with this new idea, people can make up words all the time. So edgenomics is a new word that I've been working on. It has a description too. I haven't got it in a dictionary yet. But edgenomics would be an idea to be basically offering free education and in a leveling up system where as you're participating, let's look at one example specifically, say a woodworking factory, educational factory, right? Coming into it, at first you're getting free education, so you're not making any money. You're learning how to use the tools, so you're not breaking them. You're learning how to take the measurements to build the different things, to make all sorts of different projects. You're learning from people that are in there. As you level up, as you learn how to use the tools effectively, learn how to build efficiently, learn how to do these things, you you start to move yourself into a paid position. And not only that, but you move yourself into a teaching role position. So, say a level 3 might have the task of teaching a level 1 about certain things.
Yeah, this is really interesting, and I want to go back now to when I asked you about being an independent. So one of my questions, why didn't you go to, let's say, the Greens or the NDP or even the Liberals with these ideas, not just this one, but your ideas? Why is it that you decided to be an independent?
Because I don't feel our political system is measuring up to the level of organization and structure that we need these days to actually be moving ourselves in an intelligent direction.
Do you think a system such as multi-member proportional representation, there's that one. That's one of the main ones. I think they have it in Europe. But you may recall, you may be too young though, STV was actually brought up in this province, which is a type of proportional representation. Do you think that system would provide more opportunity for candidates like you to present your ideas and develop them?
Well, I'm not too aware of that specific one, the
STV.
But anyways, when it comes to proportional representation, I think it would be like people are angry, especially with the Liberals for going back on their promise. People are really angry. People are really pissed off. I've had people lose their
they're cool,
yeah, and started swearing and all of this stuff, and because people are feeling like they're being misrepresented and that this system isn't working. So when it comes to moving to proportional representation, I think it would be great when you're electing kind of more of the mainstream political parties to get more Greens in there, because that's really important, especially when we're living in a world where environmental catastrophe is right on our doorstep and we need to be moving directly. But it won't work for assisting independents directly, because independents are independent from each other. We're not all running independently for the same reasons. So having a proportional representation where, because of all these independent
people
votes,
would be prepared to vote for an independent in a proportional representation system probably more than they would in this first past the post, where you have strategic voting, as happened in 2015 in the federal election. I don't know how much it's happening right now, how much people want to get rid of the governing party, the Liberals, or not. I don't know. But I would think that in a proportional representation system, people would be more prepared, at least I would, to vote for an independent if I liked what they represented, I trusted them, etc.
Yeah, fair enough. I could see.
But I want to get back now to communication, if you don't mind. Great. Campaigns can be shallow and banal. They can really, full of rhetoric, people talking, name calling.
Yeah.
How would you assure, that the voters got good information about you, your position, you're an independent, so that they could make an good informed decision?
Well, as an independent and working off my own personal finances that I've saved up to run for this, and the assistance through family, which is, I'm probably by the end of the campaign I might have spent around $500. That's including the $250 to sign up. So to promote myself to a large demographic without $50,000 of taxpayer money to invest in road signs and all of this crap is a very challenging thing. But I feel that as an independent, I have an advantage over a lot of independents and other parties when it comes to my foundation of skill sets that I've acquired over my young adult life, when it comes to graphic design, website design, video making, all of these things. So right now I have a website that I've built myself. This coming the next dozen days here, running up to May 9th. I have a project that I'm working on.
You want to mention your website on here?
Yeah, my website's thinkindependently.blog.